Welcome back, everybody! Is Manfred von Karma about to have a freak out because he's gonna be all like, I didn't realize that. Aw, dang it, Manfred, you ruined it! Just what are you getting at? Oh, okay, maybe he doesn't get it yet. Maybe once he gets it, he'll react to it. These two desserts were made by Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover. I wouldn't exactly call Mr. Gustavia's design skills praiseworthy. And yet for the semifinals, he was able to produce something comparable to Mr. Dover's. Furthermore, these two desserts have the exact same flavor. What are you trying to say? I'm saying it's possible they collaborated with each other on their entries. Prosecutor von Karma, please take a closer look at their desserts. At first glance, they may look completely different. But even though the designs are different, it's clear they were made from the same materials. Yes, because the flowers, of course. Is that so? The same flavor and composition. It's impossible to dismiss their similarities as coincidence. The very existence of these two desserts points to a link between Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover. Since you already know this much, I'll tell you the truth. Huh. Did von Karma know about their collaboration? However, what I'm about to say is not going to help your case at all. Yeah, I'll see about that. The real connection. If you want to know about Gustavia and Dover's connection so badly, I'll tell you. Last night when I interrogated Gustavia, he told me about his connection with Dover. Until the day before the finals, they worked on their desserts together. You knew about their cooperation all this time, didn't you? Why would you conceal the truth? I would appreciate it if you didn't sully my reputation. Until I explain my points in court, I avoid giving away unnecessary details. I was merely saving you time. How can he act like this and keep the truth from us? His concealment of the truth is something I simply cannot ignore. Rebuttal of their real connection. If you want to know about Gustavia and Dover's connection so badly, I'll tell you, gosh dang it. Stop asking me for things. I'm sick and tired of these defense attorneys always wanting information and more information. Why can't you just figure it out for yourselves? You don't need to investigate. You don't need me to tell you. You should just know. I've heard enough of that, Mr. von Karma. It seems you knew all about the real connection all along. Why'd you hide it from us? Because I hate defense attorneys. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I would never divulge information to a mere insect such as yourself so easily. I am not a fool like that detective after all. I was just doing things my way. It was because you defied me that he gained this information in the first place. Last night, when I interrogated Gustavia, he told me about his connection with Dover. Last night? That was after Mr. Dover's sculptures had melted, right? Yes. Afterwards, I went to interrogate Gustavia personally. Interrogated by von Karma? Sounds scary. Knowing Mr. Gustavia, I feel like he probably tried to meditate through the interrogation. The moment he closed his eyes, I snapped my fingers like so, to show him that no one remains silent in front of me. How is snapping your fingers gonna make someone talk? Everyone, I demand you talk right now. I don't see anyone talking. Are you all talking right now? No, of course not.
None of you were talking. I just snapped my fingers, and it didn't work. See, Von Karma, you're flawed right now. You can't possibly be saying that snapping your fingers was enough to get you through. It's not how it works. Did that have any effect?
Because of that, I was able to get a perfect confession about his connection with Dover. Until the day before the finals, they worked on their desserts together.
Why do you think Mr. Gustavi and Mr. Dover collaborated?
Why? Because Gustavi had poor design sense, and Dover was a novice at baking. Without the help of each other, they would never have made it through a single round.
Oh, they probably could have made it through one round, maybe. I mean, depending on how many rounds there are, but I don't know. I mean, there's like a lot of rounds. They could have made it through one. If so, what was their mutual goal? Why cooperate until the finals?
The finals will be fought on our own merits, Gustavia said, and he ended their collaboration. Gustavia's goal was to obtain the title of the world's greatest pastry chef. It seems his pride as a pastry chef won out in the end.
Victory in the finals would certainly have been hollow had he cheated. So he believes that their cooperation only went as far as the semifinals. But what if it really continued through the finals? Prosecutor Von Karma, could you explain the cooperation in a little more detail?
Very well. Why? Because Gustavia had poor design sense, and Dover was a novice at baking.
Concerning your statement about Mr. Gustavia's designs, I have no objections to that. I have no objections either. He's got no sense of style.
When I saw him attempting to fashion my likeness with candy.
Wait, he tried to fashion your likeness with candy? Say what?
Just thinking about it disgusts me.
I actually like this candy crafting, though.
A novice pastry chef, and one with no sense of design. It's only natural such pathetic specimens would associate with each other. The cooperation lasted only through the semifinals. For the finals, they were on their own.
They cooperated the day before, but not the day itself. That seems highly unnatural. Don't you think?
What I am saying is only the truth. How unnatural it is matters not.
Or weren't you unnaturally concealing that very same truth just a minute ago? There must have been a reason he hid this fact from us. Mr. Master said Mr. Dover was the favorite to win at the finals. Which means he must have still been cooperating with Mr. Gustavi at the time, right? Yes, that is what I believe. I must have evidence that proves that they still cooperated during the finals. Well, I mean, I know you started doing this Okay, I can roll that one out. Last night when I interrogated Gustavi, told me about his connection with Dover. Okay, I can probably roll that one out. Why? Because Gustavi was poor design sense and Dover was novice baking. I can probably roll that one out. Maybe? The cooperation lasted only through the finals, semifinals. For the finals, they were on their own. Oh. So, I'm gonna probably want to go for this one. But what do I present? I do wonder. Found near the body at the crime scene does the design hold any special meaning? Notice the crime scene body was recovered by police. Blah 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 blah. No fingerprints were found. Oh geez, the only key to the unlocked rooms in the mansion. Placed in Alicia's room. Changed color with the rainbow light device. Belongs to Alicia. One of them is missing. Alicia made fake decisions by cutting the plastic cream. Those photos individually has the capacity for 20 photos, but there is only film for 3 more. The photos received from Kate and Badge. Remember details. Would this have anything to do with anything? Not sure. Probably not. Maybe. Dover's sherbet was most delicious, but the liar part was very salty. Maybe? It did say that, like, Master did say they both tasted the same. But, like, maybe under that salt, it's all the same flavor again anyway? So, I mean, I don't know. I wonder. Dover's blood was found in the fountain water, however, it was absent from the crime scene. Seven Dover's desserts had different designs, but the taste was the same. Here's the recipe for the drug that will cure the taste disorder. Hypercheap with some Sabada Huga. You know, I'm gonna go with this one, actually. I hope it's right.
Objection!
Yeah! Woohoo! Von Karma, you're too easy! Everyone else is way freaking too difficult, but yet you of all people is the easy one. Like, why? I don't get it. You say that Mr. Gustavi and Mr. Dover did not collaborate during the finals. That's strange. ... Delicia testified that Dover's sherbet was the most delicious. Being a novice chef, I doubt he could have done all that by himself. Perhaps the two of them cooperated during the finals as well.
Defense attorney, how many times do I have to tell you? Delicia Scone's subjective opinion cannot be admitted as evidence. There is still a chance that a novice chef could make something tasty. My wife is an amateur, yet her cooking rivals that of world-class chefs.
Gosh, do I even want to know how your wife is, Mr. Von Karma? Like, honestly, do I even want to know? How do you even have a wife, by the way? Like, my goodness, that's another thing. How is that not a subjective opinion?
Moreover, even if you take this pharmacist's testimony to be true, it changes nothing. She also mentioned that a part of his sherbet was very salty. Which means you can hardly call his entry for the finals perfect. Tisk, tisk, tisk. What? No more objections?
Is there no way I can prove their collaboration? Mr. Edgeworth, there's something that's been bugging me. What is it? The desserts Mr. Dover made for the finals would have taken a long time to make, right? Indeed. They were frozen sculptures after all. How would he have had the time to sculpt it after it was frozen? Let alone help Mr. Gustavi with his design as well. Huh. The way I see it, just waiting for the sherbet to freeze would have used up all his time. How was he able to make those sherbet sculptures? Raymond, you may have a promising future after all. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. I really appreciate that. Thanks to you, I have noticed one more possibility. Why did he eat paper after he said that? He was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy you said that. I'm gonna eat this paper right this very moment so I can digest this moment. ... That was a great tasting moment. That's right. Mr. Dover's sherbet needed time to freeze properly. And the contest time limit would not have been enough. The method Mr. Dover used to make a sherbet within the time limit was... it was prepared in advance? I mean, they were desserts, no doubt. I would say prepared in advance. If the sherbet was prepared in advance, all he needed to do was sculpt it.
You. Just what are you mumbling about?
Well, I mean, that's not against the rules, is it, if he prepared a block of ice in advance to sculpt it? I mean, if he knew what he wanted to do, I mean, I don't even know. Please excuse me. I finally realized. Your earlier view was correct. Huh? Mr. Edgeworth? What are you doing?
Oh, so you're finally admitting defeat?
No. All I am admitting to is the truth of one of your statements. Dover and Gustavia's collaboration lasted only until the day before the finals. It is exactly as you said. They only cooperated until the day before the finals. ... Sculptures in Mr. Dover's room were all made of sherbet. Such an amount would most likely need to be left overnight to freeze. Which means Mr. Gustavia prepared Mr. Dover's sherbet in advance the day before.
That's right. So you realize Gustavia's cooperation ended the day before the finals.
Then why did Mr. Dover not help Mr. Gustavia in return?
The views of the dead are of no concern to me.
Objection!
If you aren't going to answer that, I'll need to get in touch with Mr. Gustavia himself. Or was your interrogation not quite as thorough as you claim?
You ingrate! You dare mock me!
It was not my intention, but I do have a problem with your attitude. I want you to give us a clear reason why we can't speak to Mr. Gustavia in person.
A clear reason? Because I don't want you to win, obviously. Gustavia and Dover's collaboration has no bearing on this case.
Objection!
You claim the collaboration is irrelevant. If Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover's relationship had turned sour, it could serve as a motive for murder.
You're saying that Gustavia and Dover's collaboration was linked to the motive for the murder? If that were the case, why did he not conceal it? After all, we found out about this collaboration from Gustavia himself. If you really are a lawyer, show us evidence that gives us a reason to suspect Gustavia. ...
Only one of Mr. Gustavia's actions has been suspicious so far. Dallas Von Karma already knows of this fact. This could be a trap by Von Karma.
What's wrong, defense attorney? Not going to answer.
But I mustn't back down now. Mr. Gustavia sneaked into Mr. Dover's room. His reasons for this are currently unclear. The very fact that he really entered the victim's room is a reason enough to suspect him.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. If that's the extent of it, I can dispel those doubts.
I knew it. Was it a trap after all?
I was intending to save this for the courtroom, but I'll make a special exception. We wouldn't want to prolong the trial with unnecessary information, would we? Take a look at this.
This is
a photo of Gustavia and Dover, and their sons.
family photo added to the court's record. Photo of Gustavia and Dover and their sons. Gustavia's son always came to visit up until the finals.
Gustavia entered Dover's room in order to steal this photo.
To steal the photo?
It seems their sons attended the same elementary school. Apparently he thought that he'd be suspected if people found out he and Dover were acquainted. Yes, just like you're doing now. There is nothing suspicious about Gustavia's actions. No further room for argument.
He's still adamant on not letting us meet with Mr. Gustavia.
I have an investigation to return to. I have no more time to waste on the likes of you.
Curse that Von Karma, calling us a waste of time. What should we do, Mr. Edgeworth? At this rate, Master Jeff will be. Von Karma is busy. Of course. Why would he be so busy? Both the body and the murder weapon have been found, and he already has his suspect. Police should have more than enough evidence to prove Mr. Master's guilt. If that's the case, then why is Von Karma still investigating the crime scene? Mr. Edgeworth, is there something wrong? It seems I have been overlooking a matter of vital importance. Considering that he already has the evidence he needs to convict Mr. Master, I feel that Von Karma isn't as composed as he should be. He didn't even tell Detective Bad the full results of the investigation. Yeah. Von Karma's a bit on edge at the moment. He still hasn't received the autopsy report. No autopsy report. A day after the incident, the autopsy report still has not arrived. Furthermore, something vanished from the crime scene, and we still don't know why. Look at that. Please look at the crime scene carefully once more. The bloodstain that should have remained at the crime scene has disappeared. Bloodstain disappeared. The victim's blood was not found in Mr. Master's room. Yay, logic, ... I definitely didn't get any reports about the bloodstain being cleaned up. That's the third time we've heard that said. But the strangest thing we found wasn't in Mr. Master's room at all. It's a match. The blood in the fountain is Dova's. Blood in the fountain, water fountain. Trace of Dova's blood was found in the fountain water. So Dova's blood vanished from Mr. Master's room, and somehow found its way into the fountain. What does this mean? Well, I mean, the bloodstain obviously had to disappear into the fountain, right? Yay! Woohoo! Although the victim's blood wasn't found in Mr. Master's room, it was detected in the water fountain. There would be no need for the killer to conceal the bloodstains after the body was found. It's unnatural that only the bloodstains that were found were that the body disappeared. Once the body was moved, the blood would have still remained on the chocolate. Don't tell me. Someone removed the body and then erased the bloodstains. Was the body removed? Blood vanished from the scene because the body was removed. It's a possibility, you never know. Blood vanished from the scene because the body was removed. Well, this is all we got left, so I mean, what the freaking heck? Yeah, there's incidents, things happened. The body was removed. We have no idea what's going on anymore. It's possible the body was removed from the crime scene, and the autopsy report still has not arrived. Although we have a murder weapon and a suspect, we don't know much about the body. We've been investigating under the assumption that the body had been discovered. Perhaps this assumption was wrong from the very beginning. Why didn't Von Karma give Detective Bad the autopsy report? To understand that, yes, I must turn my logic around. My thinking shouldn't be why is Von Karma hiding the information about the body, but rather, what if Von Karma doesn't even have the information to begin with? What happens if I think of it like that? It's possible the body wasn't removed by the police for autopsy. It was removed and hidden by the real killer, Mr. Edgeworth. I heard many dark rumors surrounding Von Karma. He's a prosecutor who forges evidence, fabricates testimonies, and makes backroom deals. Yeah, I've heard that too. But what does that have to do with this? I tried to avoid judging others based on rumors, but I didn't let those rumors influence my opinion on Von Karma. Until today. It seems he is a man who would distort the truth. Distort the truth? You don't mean forgery. I do. And I can't allow him to get away with this. Well, maybe we are gonna let him get away with this.
I must return to the prosecutor's office for now. Not a word to that attorney.
Roger! I heard you say that.
What do you want, defense attorney?
I want to know the truth that you've been hiding.
Fool! Are you trying to mislead the police's investigation again? If you interfere with the investigation anymore, I'll be forced to reprimand you myself.
Objection!
Police, no. My objection is with you.
What?
Isn't it a prosecutor's job to ensure justice for criminals?
What are you saying? I have no time to debate the job of a prosecutor with you. However, I will tell you one thing. My job is to ensure all those I prosecute are found guilty. Before the perfect proof, there can be no room for doubt.
Objection!
And to find that perfect proof, you would even stoop to forgery?
Huh. I was wondering what you were going on about. You intend to accuse me of forgery, don't you?
He literally just did. Yes. And it's for that reason. He's not allowed to take the badge to investigate. ... What do you mean? The real reason Detective Bad wasn't investigating was not so he could keep an eye on us. It was to hide the fact that you never found the body. Wah! They never found the body?
You cretins! You will cease with these ludicrous accusations! I will not tolerate any further insults.
In that case, let us verify the body. If you do, we will have evidence that shows whether I am right or not.
Nuh. Tisk, tisk, tisk. The burden of proof falls on you, defense attorney. I have no reason to comply with your baseless conjecture.
Objection!
You must have noticed it too. The lack of blood stains at the crime scene. So why did the blood vanish? And more importantly, where did it go?
Foolishness! Why would anyone erase just the blood in the chest that contained the body?
Yes, that's exactly right. If the body had been found there, disappearing bloodstains would have no meaning at all. However, what if the body was already gone? To erase the traces of the body being there, one would have to get rid of the bloodstains as well.
Why make such a fuss over those bloodstains? It seems like a trivial detail to me. Or, are you saying that you can show me where those bloodstains went?
In court, everything must be said with evidence. Isn't that right, Von Karma? In that case, I'll show you the evidence supporting my claim. Which piece of evidence shows where the blood in the Mr. Master's room went? Where is it? No, seriously, where is it? Right here. Victim's blood. Dover's blood was found in fountain water. However, it was absent from the crime scene. There were traces of the victim's blood found in the fountain. ... Traces of Mr. Master's chocolate were also found in this very fountain. In other words, the blood was washed down the stream, which then flowed into the fountain. All of this points to only one possibility. After the body was removed, someone erased the bloodstains.
Gah!
Von Karma, where was the body really found? If you really found the body, you should be able to answer.
You... How do you know this information? How do you know the results of the water's composition test in the fountain?
Because I allowed him to investigate.
Bad. Always a thorn in my side. From here on out, I will not allow you to associate any further with this case.
It's not like you were letting me do much anyway. Von Karma, you still haven't answered my question. Or, are you admitting to the fact that you didn't find the body after all?
Tisk, tisk, tisk. You say I never found the body. Where is your evidence?
Ugh. He's never going to confess. Excuse me.
I have nothing further to say to you. Gregory Edgeworth, this matter will be decided in court. We'll see just how well your logic holds up there.
Von Karma, I know your methods are wrong. I promise without fail, I will expose the truth you've hidden. Should we continue? Aww. Oh, no, never mind. He's walking away. I thought he already walked away, though. Detective Bad, I'm sorry. It's because you let me investigate that. No, this was bound to happen. Sooner or later. This is also the first time I have been restricted in my investigation. Your theory that they never found the body sounds pretty close to the mark. That it will make clear in court. Heck, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. Even though I'm no longer in charge of this case. Then, though I'm very sorry about this, I have one more favor to ask of you. Hey, what are you guys whispering about? It's none of your concern, Raymond. I want to know too. This will be my trump card in court. The information I've gathered up until now should be enough to prove Mr. Master's innocence. But if all else fails, I'll have this ready. Your trump card? You'll see at the trial. Wow, I get to be at the trial too? Of course. You were my assistant after all. I'll be an ace attorney too next year. Von Karma will never beat the two of us. Right. Although I hope to clear Mr. Master's name before you become a lawyer. If Von Karma is to be my opponent, you'll want the trial ended in a day. That's right. We have to save Master Jeff as fast as we can. After all, this is you we're talking about. I'm sure you'll beat Von Karma. Jeff Master, alone in a dark cell, arrested on false charges. I must expose Von Karma's lies if I am to save him. Can we expose it? I don't know. Probably not, because, I mean, that didn't happen and stuff like that, even though it should have been exposed, but it really wasn't and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, say it cleared stage yet up to this point? Nah! I think we'll do that on the next exciting episode, everyone. Oh my gosh. I'm going to assume we're going back to the present. What do you think, everyone? Back to the present? Or are we just going to be like, yeah, now we'll sit on the save screen for the entire episode. We'll just be like, we'll discuss the case. We'll be all like, did Jeff Master really do it? No, probably not. It was probably Kate. I think it was Kate. I mean, seriously. I mean, I just feel like the evidence in the present points in their directions. Because, I mean, like, why else would she be just going off on a random tangent and just doing random things? Like, okay, well, that's cool, I guess. Well, anyway, the next episode, maybe we'll see what happens. I'll see you later, everybody.
Would you please just end the episode already?